Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Ladera Heights Civic Association community meeting. As many of you know, since earlier this year, we have been meeting virtually due to the coronavirus pandemic. Each month, we present information of importance and interest to the community. Tonight, it is my pleasure to host the introduction of candidates for the upcoming Board of Directors election. There are 13 candidates who are seeking to fill 7 positions on our association's board of directors. I'm sure once you hear from the candidates, you will all agree that we are very fortunate to have such an outstanding and talented group of individuals. Some of them are very good looking as well. Each of the candidates will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves to you, talk about their background of experience, and request your support in the upcoming election. We will go through the list in alphabetical order. And so, without further ado, we will begin with our first candidate. And welcome this evening to Sam Araki.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? My name is Sam Aragi. I have an amazing wife named Jessica, a 2.5-year-old dog named Bruno, and we're expecting our first child in January. We're probably some of the newest residents of Ladera Heights, and we couldn't be more excited. You know, I've lived in Playa Vista for the last 6 years now, where I work in real estate with my mom, and I've told her since day one, my plan is to move to Ladera Heights and start a family. Being in real estate, we know the importance of community when people are looking for a home. And Ladera Heights has always had that sense of community, as far as I've heard and experienced by talking to different people I know. I've known Carla Lowe for many years. I've become friends with David Oliver, and you know, they've been very welcoming and helpful throughout this process. And our first impression as being residents in this community has been absolutely amazing. Everyone's been super friendly, introducing themselves and welcoming us here. And you know, we've decided that we want to make sure we become part of the community and we help it grow and help it go to the next level. So I'd like to run for a seat. If it's possible, I would be honored. I would work hand in hand with some of the longtime residents here in this community and learn from them and see how I can be helpful and you know, take this to the next level. And with that, I will pass it on to the next candidate.
Brian, you're on mute.
Thank you, Sam. Sorry about that. Our next candidate is Christina Bartosh.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christina. We can't see you guys, so it's like a very interesting experience to be speaking to people you can't see out there, but hope everyone is doing well. My family moved to Ladera in 2018. I have 2 young boys, a 1-year-old and a 3.5-year-old. You may have seen my 3.5-year-old. He's obsessed with all the Halloween and Christmas decorations and wants to go up to every single house, and everyone has been so lovingly welcoming to him and all his decorations. But we, you know, really enjoy this community and living here. And since we've moved here, you know, it's been amazing to see the progress and the initiatives that the LHCA has made and continues to make. I remember attending a mixer with actually some of the individuals here at the former Starbucks, and when we could meet in person, and it was amazing to walk into a room. I attended by myself because my husband was putting our baby to bed, and just having such energy and enthusiasm about this neighborhood, and so many of you speaking so passionately about what you love about living here, your hopes for the community and what was important. And ever since that moment, it's been amazing to work with Ran and learn more about the specific initiatives with the CSA box and the farmers market. And especially as a parent, with 2 young children, and coming from a neighborhood where I knew my neighbors, we played next door late into the night. It's really, I'm excited to have the privilege to run for a seat on the board to help, continue to energize and progress the initiatives for the future generations and really bring our community together. My background is in marketing and brand building. So I hope to bring that to further, spur ideas on how we can continue to get more of our great community involved, and, bring new initiatives and ideas. I definitely like to have my hands in the weeds and roll up my sleeves and do a lot of the work that's needed together and collaborate. So yeah, I'm really excited to, have this opportunity and continue with the amazing work that has been already done and bring in some, new ideas for, from a parent's perspective, especially getting energy within schools, and getting to know. I think there's a huge opportunity for us to just continue to grow together. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Next, we'll hear from Ezra Bowles, Jr.
Okay. Well, good evening to the Ladera Heights Civic Association Board, my fellow nominees, and any community members that may be attending. My name is Ezra Bowles, Jr. I migrated to the Ladera Heights area over 3 years ago after when I got married. I have found it to be safe, peaceful, and a diverse community where its homeowners take pride in their homes and their neighborhoods. I have a good relationship with my neighbors and find many of the people I meet to be friendly during their daily walks. These are some of the qualities of life I place high value on, and when choosing where to live, as I'm sure you all do. It is for this reason that I'm answering this call to serve. And I have experience working with corporate boards and also working as a board member. Additionally, I believe with my career experiences, which you can see in my bio, that I can bring some value to the association, and with working with the other board members, build upon the excellent work the past and the current board members have accomplished. With that said, I ask you for your support and I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ezra. Ran, shall we?
I think we just lost Brian. Let's give him 1 second here.
Where did you send him?
To purgatory.
All right.
All right. Sorry about that, Brian.
I didn't say anything wrong, did I?
You got banned.
All right. Well, what I was saying is perhaps give you a moment to later in presentation set up. Okay. So next we'll hear from Chiquita Emel. Welcome, Chiquita.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chiquita Emel, and I guess I'm the longtime resident on the screen so far. My family and I have lived in Ladera Heights for 21 years now, and we absolutely love Ladera. We live in Old Ladera on Flores Avenue. My husband and I have raised 3 sons, and we now have 3 grandchildren in addition to that. As far as my background, I've worked in sales and marketing, and for the past 15 years, I've worked in gerontology. So when I think about Ladera, 47% of the residents who live in Ladera are over the age of 50. And I have to say that this year, during this pandemic season, I think it really brought to light how much we really need each other as a community, especially for older adults. My mom is 79, and although she lives in Chicago, she's basically been isolated almost the entire year. So that's pretty much what motivated me to like get off the sideline and really try to get involved in the community. I have to say that I've walked more this year than I've probably walked the entire 21 years that we've lived in Ladera Heights. You know, we've met some wonderful people, we've worked out with our neighbors, and it's that same energy and my experience that I would love to bring to the board, keep moving the community forward, to share any ideas that I can bring to the table to help, just to help the lives of everyone, not just older adults, because the youth are certainly our future. So just in terms of bringing intergenerational activities together to basically help everyone stay connected. So I thank you for your time and I appreciate your support. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chiquita.
Brian, did you want me to play Desiree's video?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, let's give it a try. Let me know if you can hear the audio on this.
Good evening, ladies.
Just a test. Could you guys hear the audio?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Desiree Bowens, and I'm excited to be here and as a candidate for Ladera Heights Civic Association Board. My family and I moved here in 1979, where I stayed and grew up in Upper Ladera until 1995. Then I went away for the last 25 years to the United States Navy as a fighter pilot. But I've retired and I'm back here, thankfully in my childhood home, with my wife, my 6, and my 9-year-old boys. We're excited to be here, and we're excited to be a part of the community and engage and develop relationships within the community. Since the time when I was gone, my mom was here alone for many years, and the community took care of her, and she was engaged in the community and believed in the community and all that we did. The board has done great things over the years. I would like to continue the energy and excitement that the board has on initiatives, whether it be cleanup, drive-ins, or the farmer's market. And anything else we come up with, I hope I can get your support to trust in me to represent you on initiatives that we can build together. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you, Rand. That was Desiree Bowens. And next up will be Lisa Flannery. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Lisa Flannery. I have lived in Ladera since 1988. I was previously on the Civic Association from about 94 to early 2000. I took a leave of absence or have been inactive because getting my daughter ready to go to college. And I'm at a point now in my life where I feel that I have the time to devote back to the organization. In preparing to run for the position, I've been an advisor for the past 2 years to the board. I work for the city of Los Angeles I've worked there for the last 26 years. 24 years of that time, I've been the community outreach coordinator and a special events coordinator for the Los Angeles Police Department, handling from the 10 freeway down to the Port of Los Angeles. And for the last 2 years, I've been a real estate officer at Los Angeles Road Airport, managing property on the airfield at LAX, which you guys know as LAX. I am a volunteer for the Junior League of Los Angeles and have been for 8 years. It's a training organization for women. I sat on the board for Pathways LA, a nonprofit similar to what people know as Crystal Stairs, where we handle childcare reimbursement north of the 10 freeway. I'm an active board member now for Child Consortium in Los Angeles County. We run preschools within county buildings and facilities for employees and the public. I've served as the finance chair on the finance board as finance chair and the community outreach. I love my neighborhood and all the things that we do. I'm big on quality of life issues. I have years of experience working with city government. I'm very familiar with the officers that work our areas, CHP and well, CHP Highway Patrol and the Sheriff's Department, as well as the independent city entities that service us on the borders. And I welcome the opportunity to continue to serve my community.
Thank you, Lisa. And our next candidate is Tamita Glover. Hello.
Hello. Greetings, Ladera Heights Civic Association Board, community, and fellow candidates. I feel privileged and honored to introduce myself to you all today. My significant other and I are also new to the neighborhood. My name is Tamita Glover. I'm the mother of 2 beautiful daughters, and I'm currently expecting a baby boy due in May of 2021. Born and raised in Southern California, I have always enjoyed being involved with anything for the better good. I'm a lifetime learner. I have my BA in liberal arts, and I continue to pursue my master's in HR. I received a certificate of in human resource from Loyola Marymount University. I have a strong administrative background. As a former Santa Monica Unified School District employee, I have planned, organized, and created wonderful memories with students, parents, staff, and administrators for the years I was there. I come to you all today in hopes of gaining your support. I will be honored to represent Ladera Heights Civic Association for year 2021. I am here to support our community, whether I'm chosen for the position or not. Thank you again for taking the time out today for my introduction, as well as the other candidates. Stay safe and stay well.
Thank you, Tamita.
Thank you.
And next we'll hear from Carla Lowe. Hello.
Hi. Hi, my name is Carla Lowe, and I love Ladera. I have been a resident of Ladera Heights for almost 25 years, and I love being an integral part of the community. I live here with my husband, Ray, and our 2 dogs, and both of our adult daughters also live in Ladera. Besides being a resident of Ladera, I am also a local realtor that has sold homes in the community for over 30 years, alongside my mother-in-law, Molly Lowe, and my husband, Ray. For those of you that don't know me, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I value family, friends, and community. I am compassionate and giving. I am hardworking and diligent. I am a strong negotiator. I am persistent and fierce, and when I believe in something, I fight for it. I am outgoing and friendly, and I love meeting new neighbors on my 2 daily walks I take in Ladera. I have been an active member of the community for many years, supporting programs and initiatives at parent school, such as coordinating and participating in donations for providing Chromebooks for the classrooms, helping the community to build the school playground, actively promoting the Spanish immersion program at the school, as well as being involved in other community activities and church groups. I am a member of the Ladera Heights CSA, and I participate in the weekly Farm Box program. I believe that we as a community have many talents and skills that when brought together can accomplish great things. I have seen firsthand as I've watched the Ladera Civic Association tackle community issues. I've seen the firsthand as I've watched the Ladera Civic Association tackle community issues, beautification projects, neighborhood watches, and various other projects that affect our community. I'm grateful for the tireless dedication and time that these individuals have donated to better Ladera. I would love the opportunity to be able to serve on the board to represent you, our neighborhood, and our wonderful community. If elected, I will work to continue the mission of the Ladera Civic Association, which is ensuring that our community remains an exceptional place to live, work, learn, play, and invest. I hope you will consider casting a vote for me, Carla Lowe. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Carla. And next we'll hear from Mara Mintz. Hi.
Hi, thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Mara Mintz. I live in Lower Ladera with my husband, our son who's 3, and a baby due in about 6 or 7 weeks, hoping for January, and our dog Moose. You might see us on walks around the neighborhood. We also have been walking a lot this year in hopes of getting out of the house. We lived in Ladera for 4 years now, and I remember when we were thinking about where we wanted to live, And I heard about Ladera. I actually wasn't very familiar with it. I'm not from LA originally. My husband's great aunt grew up in Ladera, and we had a lot of friends and family who grew up here as well. People were recommending it to us. And one of the things I found out about was that Ladera had a civic association. And to me, that was such an exciting part about moving here, because I've grown up in really strong, close-knit communities. I was raised to be a part of a community, to give back to communities, and to build stronger ones. And so for me, that opportunity that I saw in my future was so exciting to move to a place where we could stay for a long time and really make an impact and make this a really great place for people to live, and make it a place where, you know, people in LA want to be, and that it's a place they're considering when they're moving with their families. My background is in nonprofits originally. I did a lot of work in outreach and engagement, communications, marketing, strategic planning, a lot of work with boards and board development. And now I work in management consulting, working with businesses on the people side of business. So how do you make really effective organizations where people can thrive? My day-to-day work is in communications and leadership development, and work on creating great, strong cultures where people want to be. So my hope is that I can take those skills and the work that I do day to day and in my past and bring that to the work that we can all do together in Ladera. I've loved some of the events that we've attended in the past and hope to continue building on those in the future, whether virtually, if need be, hopefully not for much longer, or together later next year. So I appreciate it. I really look forward to meeting everybody, and hope to have the opportunity to work with you and for you.
Thank you, Mara. And next we'll hear from David Oliver. Hey, Dave.
Thanks, Brian. Hi, I'm David Oliver, and I'm a lifelong resident of Ladera Heights, dating back to 1956, when my parents moved into their brand new home in this brand new neighborhood. I went to Frank D. Parents Elementary School, Crozier Junior High School, and proud graduate of Inglewood High School. So I enjoy a perspective on Ladera Heights that few others share. And it's been it's been a privilege to not only have grown up here, but to live here currently with my wife, Connie, and our son, Christopher, and I raised our daughter, Sarah, here. She's now moved to Arizona. But we've had 2 lifetimes here in Ladera already. As for my vision for Ladera Heights, I feel that we've always been and continue to be a great neighborhood. That fact is indisputable. What I'd like to see Ladera Heights continue to become is a great community. For example, many of us enjoy a small community of neighbors on our respective blocks. I'd like to see this expand to a community as a whole. And I think over the past few years, we held some very well attended and successful fundraisers, not fundraisers, which COVID-19 kind of stopped in its tracks earlier this year, put a little damper on the momentum, but to the credit of this, great neighborhood and great board, we rallied, and we've held a drive-in movie night over the summer, socially distanced, of course. We've converted our monthly community meetings that were held at Frank Parents School. We've converted those to virtual meetings like this one tonight. And actually our attendance has grown tremendously. I think, some of the younger families with children that couldn't make the meetings at night are now able to join us virtually. So that's been, that's kind of been taking lemons and making lemonade. It's truly been a case of necessity being the mother of invention. And I'm very appreciative of all the great leadership in our community, including on our board. This year, there'll be 6 of the 7 board positions that will be occupied by new board members, which I think is fantastic. And while I appreciate the hard work and commitment of our longtime board members, many of whom are going to remain in advisory capacity, I'm equally excited to see this new wave of fresh faces and great energy and ideas joining the mix for 2021. So thank you all and stay safe.
Thank you, David. Next, we will hear from Teresa Taylor. Hello, good evening.
Hi there. Thank you, Brian. Hello, neighbors. My name is Teresa Taylor, and I am a wife of, I should say my name is Teresa Taylor Bowles, and I am a wife of Ezra Bowles, who you heard from earlier. And I'm a mom. My daughter is a senior in college in upstate New York, or as she says now, serving time in upstate because it's so cold. It's like 32 degrees there. And I also have a very precious English Springer Spaniel named Monty. I've been living in the Ladera Heights area for 26 years. I actually bought my first home in Old Ladera. Then I moved to Lower Ladera. I love Ladera Heights, and I can't say enough about it. I've over the years have just, boast about our community and couldn't imagine honestly living outside of Ladera Heights. And I know it's only because of all the work that everybody has put in. My professional background, I am a vice president of sales and a real estate broker running a brokerage in the LA area. My nonprofit work, I've served on the board for the Los Angeles Urban League. I've worked with a nonprofit, especially during the real estate crisis, in restoring homes in our inner city that were abandoned. I've worked with numerous organizations in supplying resources to our inner cities, and also provided financial education and wealth building seminars with the various churches throughout the Los Angeles area. When I heard that our association needed help, I at first thought, my life is pretty full, which is what I've been saying over the 26 years. My life is pretty full. However, I know that I have benefited a lot over the years from all the hard work that everybody has put in. And I thought, now isn't the time for me to step forward. I truly appreciate our community, and I've appreciated even more during the pandemic or safer at home, because as everybody said, we're all out walking, and it's so nice to be able to walk in a community and see your neighbors and speak to your neighbors, some things that we probably take for granted. But I really do appreciate all the hard work that everybody has done on our current community committee and in the past. And what I plan to bring to the table, what I believe I can bring to the association, is my passion for the community, my drive, my project management skills, my resources and network, my willingness to help, and I think most importantly, my ability to listen. I love meeting new people. I love connecting and being able to listen and carry forward any of the concerns or ideas that everybody has. So I thank you all for your time. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I appreciate your vote, and I look forward to serving you.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
And next we'll hear from Luana Taylor Roberts. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, friends. Thank you for your patience as we listen to all of the candidates tonight. I'll keep this short and sweet. My name is Luana Roberts. I live on Bedford Avenue. My husband and I were young professionals with 3 children under the age of 5 when we moved at the beginning of 2015. So that fact alone should automatically let you know that I am a master multitasker. We always knew we wanted to live in this part of Los Angeles. Ladera is much more than a great location for us. It's more than an investment property. This is actually our forever home where we are laying down roots for our family. You might hear some kids in the background. We love this neighborhood, which is why we are so active. I have previously served as an advisory board member on the Civic Association. I organized 200 volunteers to build a new playground at our local school. I also served temporarily as the vice president of the PTA at Parent School. My husband and I have donated to many initiatives and personally hosted several neighborhood gatherings. Beyond my experience in corporate America and my expertise in communication, marketing, and sales, I believe the greatest value I can bring to this board lies in my ability to connect people. I'm really passionate about community building. Our neighborhood can continue to shine its brightest and be its strongest when we know each other, when we look out for each other, and when we are all connected. So if elected, I would like to focus on bringing new and longtime residents together. So please keep your eyes open for that ballot that's coming in the mail. And I graciously ask you tonight for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Luana. And our final candidate, last but certainly not least, Alvita Smith.
Thanks,
Hello there.
Brian. I'm last.
Well, just alphabetically. That's the way we
Okay,
went.
all right. Good evening, everyone. As Brian said, my name is Alvita E. Smith. I have been a resident of Ladera Heights for 21 years. I was on the board for 14 years. Because of my job, I was traveling back and forth, so I had to leave for a moment, but now I'm back. I was on a lot of successful committees when I was on the board. I was very happy. I enjoyed everyone. I am the co-chair for my block. I live in Lower Ladera on Sherborne. I'm very involved in the neighborhood, the block, and things like that. As manager of special events for the United States Postal Service, I'm always there with any kind of community problems with the Postal Service or any issues you guys have always had. And my vision is to get back on the board, get involved, and just make sure that the Ladera Civic Association continues with the quality of life and maintain a safe and attractive community. So once again, my name is Alvita E. Smith. Thank you.
Thank you, Alvita. Well, that concludes our presentation of candidates. And as I had said earlier, I think that you would all be impressed with such a wonderful and talented group. Please join me in expressing our appreciation to all the candidates for volunteering to serve our community. And of course, their willingness to keep and make Ladera a wonderful place to live. I wish all the candidates great success in the upcoming election.
Brian, you know what the best part of this is?
Yes, tell me.
You and I don't have to run. Can you imagine running against all these people? Really qualified candidates. We're really lucky to have so many qualified folks eager to lend a hand, and that's exactly what we need, right? We need people that want to get out there, get their hands dirty, help out with events. You know, we have a lot of people with marketing and sales backgrounds. That's helpful. That's very helpful.
Absolutely, I agree.
We need folks that are able to share some of the responsibility in producing events and outreach and helping make our organization even stronger.
Sounds like we've got the makings of that definitely in this group.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for the next topic, we're going to talk really quickly about the CSA. A few people mentioned that, and I want to give it one more plug before the end of the year. As Brian said, this is the last community meeting that we're going to have in 2020. And the CSA has been a new initiative that has been pretty well adopted by the community. It's a farm box program for anybody who's not aware of what that is. And that means every week we go and pick up a box of fresh vegetables that come shipped in from a farm in Thermal, California. So it's really nice to have all these fresh vegetables, especially in the time of COVID. So we don't necessarily have to go to the grocery stores and stand in line. We can just go at our appointment time, pick up the box, go home and be surprised each week with the different types of vegetables, some familiar and some a little more exotic. And each week it's a lot of fun. We have a very active Facebook group from the people that are involved that are sharing their recipes and taking photos. So it's been a lot of fun. I know there's a few people think David Oliver, he's still on here. He's a member of the CSA and occasionally has to eat his vegetables.
And Carla is as well, I think she mentioned.
Yeah, Carla's on it, and she's no longer here on the panel, but she was a member. And John McWhirter on our board, he's been incredibly helpful in keeping this running. Each week he sets up a tent in front of his house, he and Lisa Tolan, and they'll toast the sunset with a glass of wine and sometimes some oysters as they sit outside and let people come and pick up their boxes. It's been a lot of fun. Really cool thing about this, in addition to having all this great produce, is that a portion of each of those boxes, I believe it's about $8 from each box, goes back into our community. So we're really grateful for that. Additionally, we've donated literally hundreds of pounds of fresh produce to the food pantry LAX. So while we're getting to explore culinarily, we're also helping out people in need. So if anybody is interested in joining us, I just shared a link here in the chat, and would love to have a few more people join us in this. I think you'll enjoy it.
Brand, there was a question. Can you tell everyone what CSA stands for?
Yeah, I can. It stands for Community Supported Agriculture. And that's a little less common than what people know it now, which is just a farm box. There's a lot of these different programs, and we try to be competitive with the price. We might be a little bit more than some, but the really cool thing is this is super local. Some of the others aren't local. This is coming from Southern California. It's all organic. And again, a really good portion, about $8, go back into our community through the Ladera Heights Civic Association. So it's a very important program for us. And thank you to everybody who's been a member in this initial year. All right. The next point we want to bring up is a new initiative that we're kicking off, and it's called the Neighbor of the Month. And in this difficult time, everybody is kind of stuck in their home and doing these Zoom calls probably more than they want. We want to shine a light on all the superstars in our community that are doing special things, whether it's taking out the trash cans for your neighbor, or maybe helping carry some furniture, or picking up something at the store. We think there's a lot of stories out there that are happening during COVID, and we would love for people to nominate their favorite neighbor. And I just shared a link here in the chat as well. So anybody who would like to make a nomination, our first one is going to be for January. So if we'll have about another month or so that we'll be receiving these nominations, and we'll choose somebody. The really cool thing about that is the person that we choose for the first month is going to get a Ladera Love hat, as well as the person who nominates them. So we'll do a spotlight on our website and give them one of these great Ladera hats, and they'll spread these stories of community across the neighborhood.
Yeah, those hats are nice.
All right, and
you can't get them anywhere.
That's true. These you guys started something pretty impressive. I think we've had hats for several years, right? There was another run of these that we had some visors and ball caps, and this is the 2020 version of this that tries to level it up a little bit. All right, and so next point here is just to talk about the Ladera Cleanup Day. You guys are probably familiar with that. I think some of the candidates also mentioned it. The Ladera Cleanup Day is the first Saturday of the month. This is led by our own Dr. Stuart Gilbert and Brian Hale, are incredibly instrumental in putting this on every month. Our next one is going to be on December 5th. You can RSVP for that on our website. And while I'm sharing links, I just might as well share that here in the chat as well. If you're interested, just go ahead and put your information in here, and you'll be notified, reminded whenever we're about to head out and clean up some of these medians and sidewalks. I know that we've hit Slauson really hard. We've hit La Cienega, we've hit Centinela, and kind of everything in between. So we have our work cut out for us. Anybody who notices all the trash, we do our best once a month to get that cleaned up. And Rick, I think you can speak to some efforts that we did this past weekend. I think we had somebody clean up some emergency lanes, which is kind of the dangerous part that we don't send volunteers out for, right?
Right. On La Cienega, there is a section of La Cienega that we're calling emergency lanes, but it's also on Little La Cienega on both sides, east and west, which we're calling frontage. Those areas have been neglected for a number of years by the city that they actually are in. So we've been working with the field deputy, and he was not able to get that done. We were hoping to get that done as a larger initiative, probably later in next year. But a number of the neighbors that lived there said that they really wanted something to be done soon. So we hired a local gardener, and he cleaned it up. And if you drive by La Cienega, from roughly the 62nd block to 64th Street, you will see something that you haven't seen probably in 15, 20 years. A very, very clean emergency lane and frontage for La Cienega. And Connie Steps and myself were responsible for putting that together, along with most of the other cleanup team. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you guys very much for that. We appreciate it every day driving by. Rick, you also mentioned the field director for Councilman Bonin. I believe he's moved on. Do we have a replacement for him yet?
Right. No, we don't yet. They're going to name one, and it's going to be named in December.
Great.
Yeah.
You know, that tends to be our point of contact. So
right. And until that happens, I think the contact for us, if you have questions or concerns with the city of Los Angeles, is to call Councilman Mike Bonin's office, and you can speak with and I think it's let's see, Ariane Garcia is her name. I think she is the chief of staff for the Westchester office. So until there's a replacement for the field deputy, she's the one to contact.
Great, thank you, Rick. All right, one more very quick announcement is we're going to put out a year in review. We've talked about a lot of the great things that we've done in 2020. We're going to put that out on our website here in the coming weeks. We're going to be dark in the month of December. Not going to have one of these community meetings, but we will put out a blog post that'll kind of celebrate some of the wins that our association has accomplished in 2020 that we're very proud of. And with that, I'll hand it over to Brian for a tease.
Yeah. Speak of the month of December, a lot going on, a lot of activities that people can do safely. Probably not as busy as we have been in past years, unfortunately, but what we're going to have is a holiday decoration contest here in Ladera. We're working on the details, but so many of the families and homes like to decorate. We have really some folks that really go all out and bringing in the holiday. I do my part, but I can't hold a candle to some of these people.
Some of those are Clark Griswold of, house. There's some really impressive houses in our community.
Yeah, there are. And so, and there will be a few categories and from which winners will be selected. And so we're working out the final details. Of course, we will be posting this information on Nextdoor and on our website. So look for that with the next week or so. But essentially, individual residents will be able to go on our website, submit a nomination of a neighbor or themselves, can self-nominate, and we'll have a panel of judges to judge all the various entries. And so, and one of the entries it was a great idea. I forgot which one of the committee members mentioned it, but one of the categories involves a child theme or something along those lines, best representation of a child's theme. And so we're going to have a group of kids that will judge that category as well. So I'm excited about it. And we've got a number of people already just generating some buzz about when we're going to have it and what are the details.
I heard we're going to have a sponsored category for most electricity used. That
Well, you know, I go with LED. That's smart. Smart money goes with LED. Yeah. So,
Rick and Florence over there, do you guys decorate for the holidays?
Very simplistically.
what does that mean? You go buy some confetti?
Have you guys seen the projector LEDs that you just put in front of your house and suddenly?
Yeah.
That's more my style.
It's actually not a bad look, you know. You got to do a little bit more though if you want to win this contest.
Yeah, I heard there was somebody that uses movie props. Anybody have details about that for a really like Hollywood decoration?
Well, if they did, they probably wouldn't share it because they're gonna keep that close to the vest.
Yeah, the one that's very, very popular that uses movie props, I believe, is in Hancock Park.
Okay.
Yeah, not Ladera. But we might see that this year.
I think you know don't sleep on Ladera.
All right, so moving from there, we're going to talk about something a little bit more serious, which is a quick COVID update. We've been hearing a lot about it. Early on, we had a pretty significant spike, and I was really happy to see that it kind of leveled off for quite a while. Unfortunately, we see those numbers ticking up. The last couple of weeks in Ladera Heights specifically have not been very good. In California in general, not so good. You probably heard the governor talk today about a curfew that's going to start on Saturday. That's between the hours of 10 p.m. and I believe it's 5 a.m. I also saw 6 a.m. somewhere, so don't hold me to that. Another thing that is likely is on Sunday, it's likely that our outdoor dining, our breweries and our wineries are going to be closing again. So that could be really unfortunate for our local small businesses. And there's a chance that won't happen. But the factor that they're looking at is the average number of daily new diagnoses. We need to be below 4,000 over a 5-day running average. We're at 4,500 over the last 2 days, and it's growing every day. So we're on track by the end of the weekend to hit that threshold where our county will be closing these businesses for outdoor dining. We'd be limited to carry out. So we hope that doesn't happen, but it's looking kind of likely on the trajectory we're on right now. All right, if anybody wants to read more about that, here is a link from ABC that talks a little bit more about the different numbers, what to look out for, and what's kind of at risk. So stay vigilant, wash your hands, wear the masks, social distance, go out only if you need to, and be careful out there. I'm happy to report, though, that we haven't had more fatalities, which is very good. Early on, we had 3 pretty quickly into the pandemic, and it's stayed steady at 3 ever since. So even though we're at 132 diagnosed cases in Ladera Heights total, we don't know the current active number. The deaths, again, have remained at 3, which is 3 too many, but glad that it hasn't gone up further.
Yeah, definitely. Be safe, everybody. I think I wanted to give a few more details about the election upcoming. Yeah. So for those of you attending the meeting this evening, I want to give you information about our election timeline. So the ballots with voting instructions and the candidate statements and bios will be mailed to all the members by December 1st. Your marked ballot must then be placed in the return envelope that we provide and mailed back to the association. And you're not going to have much time because all the ballots must be received by us by December 18th. So please ensure that you mail your ballot early to allow sufficient time for the holiday mailing and any of the postal delays that we've been hearing about as well. Rick, was there anything else that I needed to, or we should mention regarding the election upcoming?
We were going to talk about the order that the candidate is going to appear on the ballot.
Yes, yeah, thank you. What was it, 3 weeks or so ago, we had a lunch with the CHP captain and sheriff captain, and we asked that they draw names to select the candidates for the upcoming board of directors. And so each of them selected names and alternated, and that is the order that you'll see on the ballot, the order in which the names were drawn from the bag by the two captains.
Hey guys, we have a question from Don Rosen here, who's asking if they can drop off the ballot at a neighbor board member's house.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
would be
that's
complicated.
Huh?
Yeah, that would be. I hate to put that on a neighbor potentially. That what if they forget to drop it off or mail it or whatever they're going to do? Because frankly, in the years past, we have allowed the members to drop off their ballots at the sheriff's substation. But as many of you know, the substation is now closed due to staffing issues, as well as the vandalism that occurred there, over a month ago. So to ensure that we get the ballots, that they must be mailed, and that's the only way to ensure that we will get everyone's ballot.
Okay, we have another question, and that's actually a really good segue. Carmen Spiva is asking, how can members who haven't paid dues for 2020 vote? The answer is you can't unless you pay. So we need to get in before the 25th, right, Brian?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
November. So Carmen, you have a little less than a week. You can, I just shared a link in the chat where you can sign up online. There's also instructions at that link if you would rather mail a check, which you need to do that pretty quickly to make sure that it'll be received in time.
We want to note also that the sheriff's station in Ladera, as the substation, is just temporarily closed. It's going to be reopened, probably within the next 2 months.
And we have another question here from Luana Roberts asking, will we consider extending the return window due to delayed mail service?
We had talked about that, but we felt that giving the members better than a week in which to mark and return the ballot was sufficient time. Well, we need to be able to review the ballots, tally the ballots, and announce the results prior to the end of the year.
Right, Brian, you're actually giving them from the first when they should receive them, the 1st or 2nd, all the way to the 18th.
That's right.
So they have 2 weeks in a few days.
Thank you, Rick.
Actually, it would be about 15 days. They'll all receive each other first.
A couple more questions. Let's see. Oh, that was just a thanks.
Yep, well, I think we're good. I do have something really quick. I promised a resident that I would share this link, that there is a missing cockatiel, that a little girl in our community is very sad about her missing cockatiel. So if you can click the link in the chat here, if you happen to see it, there's a family that would be very grateful for any tips. You know, it's a long shot, but let's see what we can do. All right.
Boy, we went through this pretty quickly this evening.
Our membership chair, Blake, is offering his phone number for anyone that has questions regarding membership. I'm not sure if he wants to say that out loud. Why don't you let us know if you don't mind us giving, because you put a note in here to call you if they have a question regarding the membership.
Yep, I shared it already, Rick.
Sorry?
Yep, I've already shared it with everybody here that.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
So thank you very much, Blake Wilson, for offering to help anybody that might have some issues. In case you don't see the chat, Blake's number is 323-229-3246. All right, over to you, Brian, for the last segment here.
Wow, okay. Thank you, Ran. Well, as all of you have surmised, you know, we'll soon be getting new terms for the successful candidates in the board, and so that means we're going to be losing, as you heard, some members. And I just want to take a moment just to express our appreciation and heartfelt thanks to the board members who will be ending their term this month. This is our last meeting of the year, and so we won't be meeting next month. And so I wanted to extend our heartfelt appreciations to Ronnie Cooper.
And hey, Brian, do you mind if we say a few words about each person?
Yeah.
You know, with Ronnie Cooper, she's been incredibly instrumental with the LHCA for a long time. She's been, I believe she's a former president as well, right?
Many years.
Yeah, and she also has been in charge of the welcome baskets for new residents that are coming in, and also filming in our community. So Ronnie will be a big loss to the active board, but she's pledged to stay on and make a reappearance at some point as an advisor when she catches her breath. So thank you, Ronnie.
Yeah, thank you, Ronnie. And she's the longest serving board member. Rick Aldridge, who we see here this evening.
What a guy.
Yeah.
I have Rick to thank for roping me into this. He's taken so many initiatives online and offline to help our community. So we're really grateful for Rick. He's always the first one in line to help out. Rick, you're currently chair of the Finance and Governance Committee, right?
Correct. Yeah, and I co-chair the Measure W initiative to repair and replace the median and the curbs on La Cienega next year. It's a water recycling initiative that was voted on by the voters that are going to once and for all correct the median on La Cienega from the city and county border all the way to Centinela. So that's as a result of Councilman Mike Bonnet and his field deputy Mike Techway. So they should get a big hand for that, because that's something that we've been trying to do as a community for the last 30 years.
Well, you know, an applause to you and Dorothy for chasing them down constantly. I know that's been no small feat to stay on their radar. So thank you for your continued efforts, Rick. LHCA wouldn't be what it is today without you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rick.
It's been a pleasure to serve. You know, I've met a lot of great people and worked with a lot of great people. How I got involved was I called Tracy, who was the president at the time, and I gave a couple of suggestions about a couple of the problem areas. And after the second call, she asked me if I wanted to participate in the solution, and I said absolutely. That's what I do, and so I've been involved ever since. And that's been about 12 years, about 12 years. Yeah.
We hope you won't be far, and hopefully we'll see a lot of you still in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm going to remain as an advisor emeritus, which will be a great opportunity for me, and it opens up a seat for new blood and new folks on the board, and I look forward to working with them.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. And you're right, Rand. He's a very persuasive guy. He's instrumental in my candidacy and coming on the board as well last year. So
I was going to say, did he talk you into it as well?
Yeah, he did. He did.
I'm good at lassoing people. I look for people that are quality people that I know will come on the board and work. And you guys have done a remarkable job. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Ron Woods, our outgoing treasurer. Ron, he's served for many years, and of course, he is our treasurer and has been. Rick, I mean, how long has he been our treasurer? Do you know?
I would say probably for 25 years. There was a brief segment that another board member was treasurer, but Ron was kind of her backup. And then she stepped out and he stepped back into the role. So that's going to be an area that we definitely going to need some support in. So all of you folks that have finance backgrounds and experience, we definitely can appreciate your input.
Yeah, that phone. Anybody who wants to help us with our books.
Yep, absolutely.
We definitely kept Ron busy with the farmers market, the CSA, and the drive-in, and all the different one-offs this year. Kept him very busy, so we're very grateful for Ron and all of his commitments to helping us out this year. Thank you, Ron.
Yeah. Ruth Lawrence, she's been very instrumental in our annual newsletter. She served as secretary for many years, I understand, as well. She very knowledgeable, and if you needed something proofread or edited for anything, she was the one that you definitely needed to have her take a look at it, because she was so adept and good at communications.
Man, she's sharp. Whenever I had, we launched a new website and invited some different folks on the board to come in and learn how to blog on the platform, and she needed no instruction. She did a fantastic job of just hitting the ground running and being able to transition from a paper newsletter to a digital one. So she's been very appreciated.
Alma Folks, that's a name that's been around for many, many years, and I know that she was instrumental in bringing the senior center, Ladera Yvonne Burke Senior Center, to our community many years ago.
And what a great asset that's been for our community, right? We're very lucky to have such a nice senior center.
Yeah. Trevor Miller, having served on the board as well for
Talk about
a couple of terms,
right? She's been one of the lifebloods of our board to keep everybody on their toes and keep everybody honest, and also doing her part to rally her folks in her neighborhood block committee. And she's been a big addition to the board.
Yeah, she's been a very strong advocate for her community there. And most recently, she was instrumental in bringing about the funding for the robotics program there at Ladera School.
Right. She's the one that's making sure that all this money that the community is giving is going back into the community, and we're funding great programs, so we're grateful for that.
Trevor was also singled out on Councilman Mike Bonin's webpage as being one of the cheerleaders on getting the section of Ladera that's in the city of Los Angeles, formerly named Ladera. For many years, people were kind of calling it East Westchester or Westchester, and she was responsible for getting it teamed back with Ladera Heights, because it's been Ladera Heights, part of Ladera Heights for 70 years. But it was formally changed last year to Ladera, the section of the city that falls in Ladera Heights. Thanks, Trevor.
Yeah, thank you, Trevor. And our outgoing secretary, Dominique Nasser Thompson, really was outstanding in terms of her ability to concisely report the activities of the board, and just prepared such an outstanding document, keeping the minutes, as well as, as an attorney, sharing her view on different issues and things that we may not otherwise have considered and been aware of.
I'm sure that wasn't easy for her, because she's not our attorney, and as any she would call us out on that. She is not our attorney, but
yeah,
she's been a great addition to the board, and she will be sorely missed as well.
Yeah.
And I believe Sandy Goldsmith is also outgoing as well, right?
And she
She's
was
an
last
advisor.
year. That was last year, and she became
Advisor.
an emeritus advisor as well.
Okay.
Yes. So that concludes it. And I guess the next thing folks will hear about is on our website or next door or word of mouth. Certainly we've got Thanksgiving next week. And so we want everyone to enjoy the time with their families to the ability they're able to do so. May not be able to have an extended family and guests as we would otherwise, but we do all still have a lot to be grateful and thankful for, that we're here to continue to enjoy
And
life and each other.
sorry to interrupt, but I forgot something very important, and that's to thank you and to thank Florence for all your help with the elections. That's been a small feat in pulling all this together. We're not done yet. You guys still have to count.
Yeah, we got to get the ballots out too. So
thank you.
More work, but it was a team effort, and I thank you for mentioning it. And Rick was instrumental in kind of passing the baton. This guy, he is phenomenal.
Well,
he's like.
When we need help, I knew exactly who to turn to, and thank you for stepping up. And you're one of the easiest folks that I know that if I come to you and I need help, you're more than willing to help.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sucker!
Well, I thank you both. Yeah.
Guys, this has been fun. We should have panelists on every community meeting like this, introducing themselves. That was cool to meet everybody.
Yeah, the neighbor of the month, for sure.
Yeah, you have them on here.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess that concludes our meeting. Thank you all, I appreciate it, and everyone out there, be safe.
Everyone vote. Make sure you vote, and if you're not a member, contact Blake or go on the website and become a member.
Yeah, you got it to the 25th, so just go on our website.
And best wishes to all the candidates.
Yes. Thank you for the great job they did this evening. We got a wonderful pool of candidates.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.